I think that the only thing that's changed in the last, since Martin Luther King, since 54, I think the only thing that's really changed is the black woman. And what she
No,
has
I don't
said
think she's changed. I think she's become more visible.
I think she's changed. Because there was a time, let's say my mother, you know what I mean, my aunt.
My name is Taryn LoveReigns Wharwood. I'm a writer, poet, author, MC, and curator of dope shit. Random Thoughts of Rain is my head music. It is the audacity of tough conversation inspired by conversations between James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni. These conversations were introspective, thought-provoking, and heartwarming in that it truly touched my soul to hear and watch the volley of their brilliance and passion. The openness and vulnerability of my generation and your generation proclamations pave the way to one simple thought. I have truly been blessed to meet many brilliant souls in my lifetime, and I want to talk to them about everything. These are Random Thoughts of Rain. Enjoy. Random Rain. My head music. James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni. Random brilliance and passion. I want to talk to them about everything. Random Thoughts of Rain.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is LoveReigns, and I'm back for another episode of the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast. And today I am truly blessed to be joined by the one and only Mr. David Emanuel, aka Raul. What's up?
Peace, goddess. Great grand rising. We are in the AM as of current now. And I'm just excited and I'm humble and I'm thankful and a lot of gratitude to you for highlighting people and what they do and just connecting with their energy. So it's an honor and a privilege to be speaking with you today.
Yes, definitely. Same. So I know who you are and I know how amazing you are. But for the people who may not know who you are, tell them who you are and tell them why you are dope.
Okay, let's see if we can dig into this. I am someone that had a speech impediment. At birth, they couldn't understand me till I was almost 3. So I was picked on by my family and I was shy up until the age of 13. I wanted to give you that premise so you can understand my journey and why I am so excited now. So currently I am a stand-up comedian, actor, filmmaker, and rap artist. And we can add poetry into that as well because I've been accepted into a group and I've actually done my poetry in front of a crowd and they have loved it. So technically I can say poet and I will be adding author. I am with a group and we are scheduled to have a compilation book out before Juneteenth. I don't know that may happen because it's like 20 people on this one book. I'll shout out Trey Ford. I know I can drop that name because everybody in the city knows Trey Ford and his work ethics. So he has allowed me to be a part of his project. So pretty soon I can put author in the title. I'm just loading up my title. I got a chip on my shoulder. I was told I would never be nothing in life. My father don't love me. I was the only light-skinned child in the family. So I have all that motivation for me to get out here and be successful. So and we can go into my 1.8 GPA graduating from high school. So I have a chip on my shoulder. I have something to prove.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, but that, to be honest with you, that's exactly why I like doing this podcast, because I like to hear the backstories and how people got, like, how these creatives, you know, got their start. So, you know, growing up, and I know it was hard for you, but how did you get into, like, what came first? Was the comedy first?
Yes, the comedy was first, but it was from a mean place. My family, we belittled each other, we dogged each other, and we did not want to see each other be successful. And we still have that type of energy amongst each other to this day. That's why I know that, you know, name calling and belittling people, like, it's not a good thing. And so with the comedy in school, we know that to keep the attention off ourselves, we do other things so that people won't focus on us. So my comedy, I would go to
Right.
high school, and in the courtyard, like I would belittle people. It could be 3, 4 people against me, and I was so good at it. Like it's easy to tear people down, but it's extremely difficult to build
Right.
people up. So over all
Right.
these years, you know, people were entertained when I belittle somebody because, you know, I look at you, I see some things about you, and I'm just gonna harp in on those, and I'm gonna go. So I've done
Right.
that for years, and it's a horrible place to be because you want to keep the attention off yourself. And I literally had a classmate, he's transitioned now, but about 5 years back, we were at a high school reunion function, and he was like, David, you remember you told me that I was so big that I got to go and steal 2 shirts and sew them both together just so I could have a shirt? And I had to let him know that that's where I was back then. Like I'm different now. And a lot of people still look
Yeah.
at me as that nasty, hurt individual. I was hurting others because I was hurt. So that
Right.
statement is true. But you know, nowadays my comedy is fun and inspirational, or I'm dropping some knowledge that we may not have. But every
Yeah.
now and then somebody tests me and I have to go to that dark place, which I
Yeah.
don't mind going. When they ask for it, I'm like, okay, you want this type of attention, so I'm gonna give it to you. So it
Right.
kind of it reminds me that a lot of painful stuff we went through on our journey, like it didn't feel good to us, but it was necessary. And so
Right.
we have to stay engaged with that as well, because that's what made us into what we are today. So, you know,
Right.
all of it is a balance.
Yeah, for sure. So when you first, once you started to transition and start doing different kinds of comedy, what was like your first experience performing in front of a crowd? Do you remember what that was like?
Man, I was at the Comedy Zone, and a good friend of mine, David Jones, who's an accountant, and he wanted to just be a writer. But you know, the owner
Mm.
told him like, no, you're gonna have to perform. So literally, like my first, I'll say 2 years. I won't say 4 years, but it could have been 4 years. I would not curse on stage, and I would not lie on stage. And already at this point, you know, I wasn't drinking. Like I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I do everything naturally. And so I like that
Right.
about myself. Like I don't have to do drugs or drink to perform. And I'm not down talking those that do, you know, whatever tool they have or whatever. I just like being natural. So I can remember a
Right.
time D Jones was trying to, because as comedians, we run our jokes with each other, and sometimes we'll give this little add on, this, that, and the other to help get that joke better and more funnier. And I was doing this joke, and
Mm.
D Jones was giving me an add-on, and I'm like, I can't say that because it's not true. And he was
Right.
like, yo, this is on stage, this is just comedy. You don't have to tell the truth. But that's how much you know, I was Christian, you know, at that time, but that's how much invested I was, you know. And
Right.
I look back at that and look at where I am now. I still, you know, most of my jokes now are still based off of true life stories. And at that time,
Hmm.
I hadn't read the books. You know, I hadn't got into forcing myself to read yet. You know what I mean? So I've since then I've read probably 9 books on stand-up comedy. So every craft that
Hmm.
I get into, I literally want to respect that craft. I don't just want to get into it. But comedy was something
Right.
natural that I did. I didn't study other comedians. I didn't read any books. I wouldn't, you know, so to see myself now in hindsight, I'm really proud of the work that I've done for stand-up comedy. And I've said to
Right.
myself, I'm going to respect stand-up comedy because I don't want stand-up comedy thinking, oh, I'm going to do all these other things and I'm not going to pay the craft the proper respect that is due to the craft. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what's one of the funniest experiences you've had as a comedian?
Mm. I, I don't listen. There's so many. So I've had a lot of humbling things. Like I know when me and D Jones went to Atlanta and we went to stand up for diversity, that was the first time there was a line around the building, and we really had to go there like um 2 a.m. in the morning and get in line to go into something that started at 8 a.m. And before that, I was in the Marines too. I don't know if I told you that, but before that, I had never waited in line for anything. And we were on the concrete laying down, waiting to go in. And so just the energy of the people around and everybody, some people were mean and snobbish. And so, you know, all that stuff was funny to me because, excuse me, I don't see suffering like most people do, because simply first 13 years of my life with my grandmother beating us with extension cords and broomsticks and vacuum poles and all that stuff, like I have a higher level of tolerance, and I just appreciate life a whole lot more, you know, just based off of those 13 years of being raised with the foster children and just being a check. Like our grandmother let us know, I don't ever remember her hugging me or kissing me. So I didn't have that type of love. So everything else outside of that is funny to me. Even in the Marine Corps in boot camp, when everybody else was suffering and crying, like I was laughing, like it was funny to me. And I would get the squad in trouble because I would be there laughing. So, you know, so much is funny as a comedian. So just seeing other comedians lose it and be depressed, like that's funny to me.
Yeah. I got you. So once you started doing comedy for a while, you decided to transition into something else. What came next? Was that going into the poetry or into the rap?
The acting came next, and the acting came by way of me being so deprived as a youth. I literally put my children in everything private acting, private violin lessons, private singing, everything. And I have 2 sons. And while I was attending, I normally would sit in on my son's acting classes. And so I was taking my son to a play that he was in, and they didn't have somebody to read the lines. And it was a Christian play. And the play they had me reading for the he devil, where at the time I had just given my life back to Christ. So I didn't want to do the he devil, you know, but I guess the he devil was the comic relief for this play. So as I was reading the line, like the cast was cracking up, they were just, and so they were like, "Can you do this part in the play? Can you do it just like you did it in practice?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" Because I had just come out of the Marines, you know, not too earlier, and I'm like, nobody's shooting at me. Why wouldn't I be able to go on stage and do it? So I wind up going on stage, doing the performance, a stellar performance. I had people coming up to me, you know, and not just throw shade at anybody else, but you know how people come up to you and tell you you were the funniest one or you were the best one, and if it wasn't for you, I would have asked for my money back. I don't know if you ever got stories like that, but I get this from time to time. And I don't want to be big-headed or anything. I want other people on the same level as me. I want everybody to experience this greatness, you know, that we have inside of us. So that's why you'll see me do an acting class or a film class or anything to help people get better. And so after that play was over, things were just stagnant, and I'm just sitting there, I'm getting bored, and I'm like, oh man, I love it so much, I want to do more. So I wound up going to the Comedy Zone and discovered that they had a boot camp for stand-up comedy. So, you know, me and my wife is sitting there, and I'm like, oh, I want to do this. And I thought the paperwork said you get to attend all the comedy shows and stuff like that, but it didn't say that. It said you get to come during the week to the local comedians. But anyway, I was in, and you had to pay $200 to get in this boot camp. And you go through a 2-month boot camp, and regardless if you pass or not, they keep the $200, and you only get to do a 5-minute section, and the owner determines if he's going to keep you or not. Well, in that arena on Saturdays in the workshop, the comedians are so bitter and so nasty, and like nobody's really trying to help you. They're trying to discourage you. And as a matter of fact, before you even sign up for the class, the owner tell you, like, most people don't make it. You shouldn't do stand-up comedy. He tell you so much to deter you right from the beginning, because it's something that you have to be committed to. So going through that 2 months was so harsh. Like the people were so nasty, and people were so afraid. And I said to them right there, this boot camp is harder than Paris Island, because literally they wanted to discourage you, and that still goes on from this day. You'll hear comedians say you suck, or certain people suck, and they just throw so many negative things up in the air. And some comedians actually go in the room, and their aim is to get people upset to where they get up and walk out of the room. Where my aim is to make everybody in the room laugh. So because I do that, I get resentment from other comedians. So I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, you did, definitely. So let's get into the rap. Like what sparked the rapping?
Oh man. Also in that play, which was about 7 or 8 years ago, I got the thought to, because we weren't selling a lot of tickets. So I said, let's make a rap and let's promote the play, and that'll help sell the tickets. So we did that maybe 8 years ago. And there was 3 of us on the track. My coworker, who was a gangster rapper, and he's really good. So he was the lead on this project, and he had to help me because that was my first time in the studio. And then I had my oldest son, who, I don't know, he might have been 14 at the time, or 16. And then me. So it took all 3 of us to make that track. And they literally had to coach me in the studio to be good on that track. I was off beat and everything. So we made that song, and then we made a video. We let all the cast members get in the video. Everybody was hyped and excited. Okay. So I got a long story of being kicked out of the church choir growing up because they said I sound horrible. And then my brother, when we moved here in Florida, he had a rap group that they would go and practice, and they wouldn't let me in the group. And even when my brother had a studio off of Main Street, even though I'm throwing out landmarks, people might not know, but he had a studio in his house, and he would record others on this when we had cassette tapes, and he would record himself, and they had little albums out. He still wouldn't let me record. So to bring it up to date with Raoub, right after the pandemic, like some people were still getting out here building and creating. So I said I wanted to make an anthem for all the builders and creators, in spite of all the devastation and the drama going on. These people still got out there and created and built. But I wanted to make a decent song. I didn't want to make an average song. So all along, when we do comedy at T-Posh and different events, there was a guy, King Travelite, who has a degree in music. And so he does a studio. And he had been hitting me up all along, like, come work with me. And I was like, no, I'm not, if it's not making money, I'm not going to do it. I didn't see the money part of it.
Right.
But when it came to wanting to have a good product for the Builders Anthem, I was like, I want this to be great, so I'm going to spend, because you had to spend money. Anytime I'm spending money, I want money back. So I said, okay, I'm going to work with you on this song. I'm going to do this Builders song. I got in that studio, and the magic and the hands and the spirit of Travelite just blew me away.
This episode of the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast is brought to you by
The Groove Suite.
This is Ashley Art, and when I create my art, I listen to Sunday Vibes with Christina Curates.
This is DJ Miss 10, and I'm listening to Sunday Vibes with my girl, Christina Curates.
The Groove Suite.
This is DJ Foundation, and I'm listening to Sunday Vibes with Christina Curates.
This is Mr. Goodbar of the Remedy, and I'm listening to Sunday Vibes with Christina Curates, powered by The Groove Suite.
The Groove Suite.
Sunday Vibes.
Check out Christina Curate's Sunday Vibes, 9 p.m. on Sundays on soundofduval.com.
What's great, everybody? It's Mr. Al Peter, Mr. Peters' Neighborhood. We recently collaborated with The Sound of Duval to play some of the podcasts from the Neighborhood Podcast Network. This will happen on Sundays from 8 p.m. to midnight. So you can listen at soundofduval.com and on the Sound of Duval app that you can download from your app store. Every Sunday from 8 p.m. to midnight, catch some of the cool podcast shows from the neighborhood. Make sure you follow Sound of Duval for their weekly shows and content. This be the moves, y'all. Enjoy. To the top.
I was like, whoa, like nobody knows that he has this talent in him because he's not out there as vocal as I am. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, I found out later he's got about 3 or 4 albums that are phenomenal from track 1 all the way through 12. It's just, you know, and people just engage people different. So when I did that one song with him, I'm like, yo, I'm doing 13 songs. I'm doing my own album. Like, I'm singing the hook, I'm doing the rap, and it's to the point where I thought I needed other people on the track with me. It's like, no, I'm so creative now because, of course, I've decalcified my pineal gland, so I got a lot of creativity. But yeah, that's what birthed Raoub, and then Raoub networks better than I do. Like, I do not network, even though I've emceed for a lot of greats at the Comedy Zone. I just go up to them because I didn't want to harass them. And I hardly ever ask for help. I don't ask for anything. I feel like it's going to come down my path. But Raoub has been on Clubhouse networking with some of the greats in the industry. And when I say working with them, I just get to have conversations. So I kind of don't want to drop no names right now. But I'm able to work with some great people in the industry, in the rap industry. I haven't even been focusing on comedy because this rap thing has been so great. And not to mention, people in my city have been coming up to me, complimenting me on builders. They want to get on the track. And I knew the one song I got, Run Me My Bread, I knew it was going to touch my sister in such a way because I'm actually talking about our childhood growing up selling at the flea market and some of the struggles we had to go through, me stealing candy from my grandma's store and then selling it at school and having 3 people working for me. Like, I get to put all my stories in this rap. And my sister, she plays it every morning. She's so in love with it. And I just got her in the studio, even though she grew up singing in the church choir and she was in our high school choir. I didn't even know that. But I got her to get on one of my songs. So to me, that's abundance because now I can expose other people to this and maybe they might tap into a gift that they have. People just need to see that it's possible. And I also got the 13-year-old son of my hair designer, because I'm not going to say hairdresser. I got him on the track with me and he was in the studio with me and he straight murdered the track. He did so well that I wanted to put some different bars next to him because it made him look horrible. But I said, no, that's my ego. That's my ego. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let him shine. And he was telling me, thank you, man. This is the first time I was in a professional studio and it's this. So, you know, it's not all about me. A lot of people think I'm an individual and I'm all about me. No, I want to create abundance for others. I want so many opportunities coming my way that I can give what I consider abundance to others. So yeah, Raoub has truly been a blessing to me.
Yeah, that's what's up. So what are you working on? So what's coming up? What can fans look forward to?
Right now, Raoub has 3 singles in the studio and they're being mixed and mastered because even with rap, I thought, okay, just make this song and then put it with United Artists, who is my distributor, and that would be it. But then I found out, no, you got to do your own marketing. You got to do, so every time you get into something, it's only the surface layer. You never see deeper than the surface. There's so much more involved. So far, I've only read 1 book on the record industry. I'm going to read more. And I'm networking with some other people, and I realize they have their other projects too, so they can't dedicate a whole lot of time to me, you know, and I respect that. So I'm very excited. I also learned that before you release a song, you want to have a video out already. You know, you release everything at the same time. And the way I realized that was I got myself onto some radio shows and internet shows already. And when they played everybody else's music, they had a video. But when it got to my music, it was just my name on the screen. So that looks amateurish. Amateur, I can't get that word right. But, you know, it makes me look like an amateur. And so now I know what I need to do. So Raoub has those 3 singles out, and I'm very excited for the public and everyone to see those. Also, I just got a TV network that put me on as the MC, stand-up comedy TV with Oneness TV Network. And you can watch those streaming. It will be on CW17. It will be on Hulu,
Yes.
and it will be on Roku. So you can see me. In fact, I have a show later today, and this is the second episode. And I'm also doing skits with Oneness TV Network as well. And I've also asked the producer, he wrote me into the sitcom they have called Back to the Family. So I was in one episode, and I'm waiting for them to include me in more episodes. And also my first feature film, Smash. None of these are under Raul. Some of these, they're the other entities inside of me. But Smash, we actually won Audience Choice Award. Leroy Gordon and a lot of my other comedic friends, they're in this movie with me. We won Audience Choice Award, and I told them even before the 48-hour film festival that we were making this into a feature film. So we're halfway through right now, and we still have some more to do, but that feature film will be out soon. So Goddess, I really appreciate you allowing me to speak about all these things.
Yeah, for sure. And then shouts out to Leroy and King Travelite. I had both of them on previous episodes. So they're awesome. And it's awesome that y'all are working together for sure. So with the pandemic and everything that's going on, there are some colleagues of ours or some creatives who still are just trying to find their footing. What's some advice that you would give to somebody who's just struggling right now and just trying to find a way to make it?
Shay, now when you say they're trying to find a way to make it, like, is that financially or just connecting to people with their art?
I would say just in general, just really honestly, not even necessarily dealing with the audience, just trying to stay above water.
Okay. I would suggest that you connect with other people that have some momentum, but have patience with them, because they probably have a lot of people coming at them. And nowadays you really have to read people's energy, not to judge people, because understand wherever people are, that's their walk in their life. That's where they are, and that's where they're comfortable. So respect and love them, because a lot of times, at least for me, like, I have to learn your energy. I have to connect with your energy. Even going in this film thing that I'm in with a whole bunch of different people, certain people do certain things, and certain people don't have a lot of human discipline. So I have to recognize that. So when they do lash out at me, or when they do make the environment uncomfortable, I have to say, okay, they don't have the human discipline that's necessary. So I can't expect the same thing out of them. And so I know the new relationships that I'm going in, they feel good in the beginning, and it's like, oh man, this feels so good to me. And then you let a month or two go by, and them ugly sides of people come out, what they weren't giving you in the beginning, and you're like, oh man, why am I here? I'm not having fun. Why is this happening? So that's why I'm saying have patience with that person, because if they're thinking correctly, they're going to get to know your energy. Relationships are the most valuable commodity on this earth. So we have to develop that. And we also have to know that your words and your thoughts create your reality. So let me say that one more time. Your words and your thoughts create your reality. So like, if you want to work with somebody, or you want somebody to help you learn something or help you get above water, like, speak those words into the universe. You have to wholeheartedly believe that. And that's well, I say believe, but you must know. You must know. Because even unity over belief that I didn't speak about, that's the one trademark that I do have. And so I have shirts out with unity over belief. And in the middle of that word belief, I have lie highlighted, because a lot of what we've been taught is what we believe. And our subconscious runs on autopilot. So whoever put whatever in our subconscious, that's what it's running off of. So you have to know that you control your programming. And I don't want to get too deep, but but yeah.
No, I like that. I like that. You control your programming. I like that for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So ultimately, whether it's through comedy, through acting, through rap, in your upcoming books, what is it ultimately that you want people to get from you as a creative?
Ashe. I want, as a creative, and Ashe means amen, pretty much. It's just a comedic version of amen. So I want people to get away that, like, none of us are really here to be saviors. We're here to be liberators. And as a matter of fact, in my music, I realized that there's a word alchemy that I just learned a couple of years ago, like maybe 2 years ago. And alchemy is pretty much chemically putting stuff in the atmosphere to create the reality that you want. And I realized that I get to put alchemy to a beat in this rap industry, because a lot of people don't like rap. You know, in fact, I had a coworker, I asked him to listen to my rap, and he called me. He's an older coworker, and he said, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna listen because I got a situation with my son, and he was in rap, and you know, he's been missing for about 4 years. So, you know, not to bring down the energy, but rap has such a stigma attached to it, you know. And I see it as a space that allows me to come in and put my alchemy to beats. And my goal is to become a great liberator. Like, I want everybody liberated. I want everybody to know that you have everything in you to do and be whatever you want to be. You're here to be the best. You are the best version of your ancestors. So you are greater than, and you need to take the bar even higher. So, you know, I tell my 2 sons that you're the best version of me. So I'm putting the bar up as high as I can put the bar up. So that's what I want people to get away with my art. When they connect with my art, I want them to know that I'm speaking to their subconscious, and I want to plant nuggets of knowledge and inspiration that's going to inspire them to go out there to create and build whatever is inside of them to build and create.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely. I appreciate that. How ultimately, how can people get in contact with you? How can they support all of your work, all that good stuff?
Yes, so I have a bunch of different names. Because listen, Raoub came in and Raoub just wanted to take over everything. And because of Raoub's work ethic, I had to yield a lot of stuff to Raoub. But if you type in Raoub on pretty much any platform, I should pop up. Clubhouse is a great app, not to promote them, but you get to connect with so many people. Daphne Springs dropped a lot of knowledge on these different platforms. Like, you want to use everything they allow you to use on those platforms, and you don't want to cross drag stuff from platforms because of algorithms. And I literally started implementing the stuff that she said, and I can see my numbers going up. So on Instagram, on Instagram, I'm Raoub, and I had to put the number 13 because other people have the name Raoub, and I didn't know that because I created Raoub from Ra means sun god, and my grandson name is Ra as well. Ra means sun god, and the UOB is from unity over belief, from my trademark, my shirt line. So I put the 2 words together, and I thought I had something on my own, but listen, this is a big world. This is a big world. Yeah. So that's why I had to put the number 13 at the end of that. On Facebook, you can find, if you type in David Emanuel Comedian, that should bring me up on Facebook. Also on YouTube, David Emanuel Comedian. I have 6 other channels as well because I'm still trying to figure out how to present myself to people, because I was vegan for 16 years, and now I'm alkaline, Dr. Sebi. So I'm really, really big on health too, but I can't put that on every platform because I don't want to run people away that may not be invested as much as I am into health. So I kind of break stuff up because I don't want anybody judging me and put me in a box, because I operate on that frequency of love. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, just David Emanuel Comedian should bring me up on almost any platform.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I truly appreciate you, sir. One of the other reasons I do this podcast is I wanted to be more intentional about giving people their flowers. So I want to give you your flowers, and I want to say that I see you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so happy, and I'm glad that you continued your craft and continue to use everything that was negative in your life and turn it into positivity and give that to the people. So I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you.
Well, Ashe, Goddess, can I take this moment as well to give you your flowers? Because I have watched you for years. I watched you perform. I watched you speak to people. I watched the love that you give out and the inspiration. And to be honest, you are a motivator to me. Like, you motivate me to push on and to carry on even through any adversity. So, I mean, can I steal a moment to give you your flowers now? Because I don't know if they can return.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Goddess.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I received those flowers.
Amen. Ashe.
All right, so we'll be in touch. And again, thank you so much for taking time to speak with me. And I'm gonna pause for a second. But so after this, once this episode, or once I release my 100th episode, that's gonna go into season 2. So this episode will what's this, April? Mm-hmm. We're probably looking at either the end of May or the beginning of June. Okay, because I do all pre-recording.
Okay, that's fine. But can I sneak in peace and abundance? Okay, yeah. Because like I said, our words create our reality. Can
you hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. So we I'll let you know when your episode is about to release. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. And
all right.
Did you already sneak in the peace and abundance for me?
Oh no, go ahead. You can sneak it in now.
Like I said, your words create your reality. Your words and your thoughts. So, what I like to say now is peace and abundance. So when we speak peace and we speak abundance, that's going to manifest in our life. And I appreciate all of you for allowing me to connect to your energy.
Ashe. All right, sir. We'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you, Goddess.
Thank you. Peace.
I think that the only thing that's changed in the last, since Martin Luther King, since 54, I think the only thing that's really changed is the black woman. And what she...
No, I don't think she's changed. I think she's become more visible.
I think she's changed. Because there was a time, let's say my mother, my aunt...
My name is Taryn LoveReigns Wharwood. I'm a writer, poet, author, MC, and curator of dope shit. Random Thoughts of Rain is my head music. It is the audacity of tough conversation inspired by conversations between James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni. These conversations were introspective, thought-provoking, and heartwarming in that it truly touched my soul to hear and watch the volley of their brilliance and passion. The openness and vulnerability of my generation and your generation proclamations pave the way to one simple thought. I have truly been blessed to meet many brilliant souls in my lifetime, and I want to talk to them about everything. These are Random Thoughts of Rain. Enjoy.